Hey everyone, back with another tutorial. So this one is going to continue on from the last tutorial that I put up around chord formulas. This will go one step more into figuring out the next step in creating your main theme and kind of choosing how to melodically build out your track. In the last one, we kind of touched on chord formulas. If you haven't seen that one, go visit it, and then we can continue on to this one. So that one kind of said, how do we know what a key is? Then how do we start writing melodies? And this one will go, we know what our key is, and we kind of want to build on that. How do we choose, how do we begin to make our melodic elements, really? And this is something that I do in my workflows and what I like to do to get started. So anyway, new track that I'm making, so I thought it'd be a really good sort of point to show you. It's pretty bare, but we can kind of go through it. You play this. Oops. That was not meant to happen. So anyway, let's play this. So just very basic at the moment. Haven't really done anything. I've been trying to think of like a theme for this song, and I thought it'd be a good time to sort of what my thought process is around picking a theme. Like you can see it's just all kick and bass. Like how am I going to bring in melodic elements? What am I going to do? So what I first like to do is figure out your theme, which is build out your chord progression for your song. So you kind of know what the feel of the song is going to be and the theme you're kind of going to go for. This is the one I've ultimately landed on. Okay, so I've actually just got an arpeggiator on this, which is an Ableton arpeggiator. If I turn this off, you'll see it's just... Okay, so how did I come to that? My sort of melodies will follow that structure. My leads will be created from this, and I'll kind of dissect everything from this. So like, let's just say I take A, F, and D, and I play that sort of together here. So I just sort of get rid of that. There's a D there. There's a A here. We got like F. Kind of play that. So you can kind of just see, like, if I make... Whoops. So you can see that's A, D, and F. So you can kind of start to think about your theme. So... Now, of course, that sounds very bare, and it's not really going to make much sense in this particular point. But how did I come to this? How did I start going, you know what, I need to get to this point? Well, the first thing I would say is get your chord formula in. So if I look at, let's say, a brand new track, you know, we've looked at chord formulas in the last one. I'll say, what notes will match this key? Now, once I look at that, I'll say, okay, I kind of know what I'm getting at. So if I put my chord formula in, which I think I have done at some point, I'll probably just have to do it again. So as we went into the last video, there was a chord formula that we chose, which went something like this. Now this track is actually in D minor. So if I go D minor scale, it's tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. So if I fold that, that's kind of all the keys in D minor. So I know I need to build my song from this. Now, when you're starting off, I would highly recommend something like Chords. It's a really good tutorial. It's a really good plugin. what it will actually do is it will actually create a chord progression for you based on the key. So I've got D minor here, and it comes up with heaps of chord progressions. So if I play it, this one. So you can see there's actually a lot of variety and selection, and it'll kind of tell you the notes that it's playing to make that chord. Now, what does that actually mean? I want to show you something that I didn't actually use this to build the melody, but I did try to get a feel or an idea of the melody from this. But you kind of have something in your head which you want to kind of translate. And one of the tips I will give you is make sure you have the right key when you're doing this, because different keys will lead to different types of feelings. So it's very important to experiment with different keys or different scales. You know, if it's D minor, try a D major or something. And there's heaps of different scales here, as you can see, for example. But essentially, I landed on D minor because I normally make tracks in like F, I think. And normally I make tracks in F or G or A. So I just wanted to try something in D this time. And the challenge I came across with D is, if I look at the D major chords, let's just bring them on the screen here. Just a random website that I like to use. We can kind of see, just bring that into view. Oh no, it's already in view, sorry. Yeah, we can kind of see these are all of the chords that make up the D minor scale. So what is a chord? It's basically at least three notes played together that will make a chord. And chords sound nice and harmonic, and they sound beautiful together. When you're looking at something like this, I like to go and sort of look it up. If I go D minor, what are all the chords? I like to also say, okay, which notes go together? So I can kind of see D, F, and A go together, D, F, A, and C go together, E, G, and B flat go together, which is A sharp, E, G, and A sharp go together. So you kind of get this sort of vision of what your what notes you can use together and what they sound like. Now, one thing I'll also tell you to take a note of is look at all of these. So if we just get the major ones out, don't worry about the sevenths. Let's just look at the sort of the chords that we have here. I've got D minor, I've got F major, I've got G minor, I've got A minor, I've got A sharp minor or B flat, sorry, A sharp major or B flat major, and then I've got C major. This is going into musical theory a little bit, so if you want to kind of brush up on what are flats, what are sharps, what's an octave, I'd probably suggest looking that up somewhere, but I'm guessing you kind of know. Now, this is a really, really sort of good website, piano keyboard guide. What I like here is, let's take a look at the most common chord progressions. This is really handy because a lot of the songs that we hear follow very similar chord progressions. In this particular track, I went for this one and I just variated it. So this one says we got 1, 6, 3, 7. I'm not going to go into too much what that means, but essentially the first chord in D minor is the D minor chord, which is D, F, and A. And then we have the A sharp, so which is the sixth one, which is A, C, and E. And you can kind of see, okay, I'll look at this. What's the B flat? We got B flat majors here. Okay, cool. So I just built it out this way. So we'll just go back to my example. So we've got A, F, D, A sharp, F, D. So if I go back here, again, let's look at that. D minor, D, F, A, so A, F, D. And then we also have the B flat major chord, which is A sharp, D, and F, which is what I have exactly here, if you can see. We have A, F, D, A sharp, F, D. Now the next one is the F chord, which is F major. Now I've taken time to get to know this, so it's pretty familiar. Like we can just count it down. Like look, it's pretty simple. It's the first one, top one. It's the sixth one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the third one, which is F, 1, 2, 3. In this case, it's F major. And then the final one for the final chord here is C. So it goes 1, 2, sorry, C is the seventh. So it's here, C major. Now, what I mean by all of this is we followed this. And if I come back here, we want to talk about what we're doing here in terms of the chords. So we got like, in our first bar, we've got one chord, and then the second one, we've got another one, third, we've got another one, and the fourth, we've got another one. Again, I'll do another tutorial on how to count bars and beats and things like that, which is very important in melody creation if you don't know. But for now, let's just focus on this. So if I play this together, okay, I like to have an 8-bar melody normally. Sometimes I can go 16 bars, but in this particular example, it's 8 for now. And we can see that I've basically just the first 4 I've covered. So if I've played basically this. So we got, again, D minor, DFA, B flat, major, A sharp, DF, and we've got F major, which is FAC. So if I go here, A, F, C. And then we have G, E, C as the last one, which is going to be C major, C, E, G. Now, if I play them together, they sound quite harmonic. Now, a good rule of thumb is, you generally have 1 chord per bar. Sometimes I like to extend it to 2 chords per bar, so I can do something like maybe like that. So just experiment and see what you kind of get to the feeling of, and this will kind of give you the base of your track. So again, in this particular example, I've gone with that chord progression for the first 4 bars. And if we restart it again, it sounds nice. Now, in every time you're creating a chord progression, you kind of needed to get this feeling of what's called a resolve. A resolve will say this is the sort of the end of the melody, and if I repeat again and again and again, it's going to sound nice. So the last note is going to feel good before the first note hits again. Now in this 8-bar melody, what I've actually done is I've actually just duplicated this and copied it over. However, the cool thing with this is you can actually, now that you have these 3 notes, you can actually move them any way, which way you want. So in this particular example, A is at the top and D is at the bottom. If I move D to the top, it doesn't matter. So just so as you can see, you can really start playing around with this and go, okay, I know these 3 notes are going to be working together. I know these 3 notes are going to be working together, and I can just play around. I can move 1 to the top, 1 to the bottom, 1 to the top, and so on and so forth. So in this particular example, what you'll see, let's look at the notes, A, F, D, A, F, D. I've just copied these 4 here. So let's look at those. These are the same as that. These are the same as that. Now, this one, the last 2, I've just flipped them. So this is A, F, C. Now I've gone C, A, F. Sounds different. And in this one, I've gone C, G, E. And this one is G, E, C. Same notes, just flipped. That is known as inversions. So when we go to Captain Chords, for example, you can actually select each one of the notes. It'll tell you what chord it is. And what we have here is the minimal leap. So let's make sure that they're all not moving too far from the other one. Like one's not all the way at the top. But we can also go inversions. So it actually creates inversions of the same notes. So it's essentially the same chord, but it's not the same chord. It sounds different. I hope that makes sense, and please put any comments if you need to do this. But essentially this will become the theme of the track. If I put this into the pads, I've just copied this over into the pads. So, yeah, I mean, if we kind of, let's just say, put this here. Just copy it over. Let's just copy this over as well. Now, we'll just turn on the arpeggiation. We'll kind of turn this off. So of course I'll tweak this and I'll make sure there's a lot more to this, but this is now kind of gotten me my base. It's kind of make me understand how I can start things. And yeah, it's really important to form the theme of your song, because then you can kind of know what kind of feeling you want to bring in for the rest of the track. So you can be like, you know, I want to write a riff, and the riff has to have a G, F, A, and then it goes into G, F, A sharp. So if I go and apply that, let's say to this riff, let's just say, for example, we'll keep the same sort of theme. So, you know, we can want to go D, F, A. D. F, A, and then let's just say, oops. Let's just say something like that. But on the last one, because A sharp, we want to maybe go, you know, let's just say I want to put the A sharp here because I know it's going to work. And you can kind of start to understand how your song will build out. Of course, like I can use A, F, C in the last bit. So I can even, let's say, use C in this one instead of D's, but you kind of get the idea where I can understand what notes I need to use. And then you kind of build your theme that way. All right. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, definitely reach out. Obviously, this is very basic, but yeah, hopefully it kind of helps a little bit. All right, guys, thanks a lot. And if you do like this video, like and subscribe, and we'll definitely be making more. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.